Hey friends, Andrew here, hope you're well. I feel like Apple's peripherals are a bit of a hit or a miss. The Magic Mouse, subjectively terrible if you ask me. The Magic Trackpad, yeah, that's pretty good. And the Magic Keyboard, well, I still find myself using it after a year, even though there are better keyboards out there. Apple first launched the Magic Keyboard almost a decade ago now. Time really flies, so here's my long-term review of the newer Magic Keyboard with Touch ID, and let's explore if these are still worth the premium price tag, or if you should be looking at other great alternatives like the Keychron K3 or Logitech's MX keys. Okay, so let's kick it off with the things I've disliked over the last year using the keyboard, and take a deep breath because there's a lot I don't like about it. For starters, there's no backlighting at all, and for a premium keyboard that costs a full $200, that's a tough pill to swallow. I mean, even the most affordable keyboards feature backlighting these days, like Keychron's K3 that I also love using, or even Logitech's K845 for $60. Plus, let's not forget that the MacBook's very own keyboard is backlit. And another common keyboard feature that's missing on the Magic Keyboard is incline adjustment. So the keyboard is almost completely flat, which looks visually great on a desk, but gets, quite uncomfortable for longer typing sessions. There's also a lack of macro programmable keys, which is pretty important to some who, like to save time and cut down on repetitive keystrokes. And then there is also the fact that this variant here with the Touch ID is only compatible with Apple devices, and more specifically, Apple Silicon, so your M1 and M2 chips, for example, to be able to use Touch ID. And that does leave quite a few people in the dark. Then, maybe most problematic of all is the asking price tag for a keyboard that lacks so many common features. For this one here specifically, complete with the number pad, Touch ID, and also the black keys, it'll cost you $199 US, and then $179 for the white keys, and all the way down to a more palatable $99 for the 10 keyless Magic Keyboard without Touch ID, which is basically the keyboard without the numpad as well. One other thing that really irks me, and I'm not sure if it's only me, but as far as I know, the past year I've used it, I have to connect this keyboard via USB-C cable for first-time connections, not Bluetooth, which can be a pain when you're already out without a USB-C cable, so I don't really like to travel with this keyboard. So yeah, this keyboard has a pretty high asking price considering the lacking features, but using it for a year now, there's also some things that I've come to love actually. Like the keyboard looks amazing. It's definitely one of the most aesthetically pleasing keyboards, and a keyboard that a lot of other brands have tried to mimic in design. It's slim, minimal, and lightweight. It's a great look on any desk because of how neutral the look of the keyboard is. In my opinion, it's great on clean desk setups with minimal wires and colors. The Touch ID button has been pretty convenient actually for fast access into the Mac and Apple Pay, but is it worth the extra premium for it? I actually do think so, but don't forget, if you have an Apple Watch, you can actually use that to unlock your Mac anyway too. So, Touch ID doesn't really become that great if you have an Apple Watch set up to unlock your Mac already. Then there is the battery life. Apple claims a month of usage per charge on their website, and it's actually true. I use this keyboard almost every day for work, and it lasts over a full month on a single charge, and that's without an auto sleep function. But let's remember, there's also no backlighting. I also believe the awesome battery life is because membrane keyboards like the Magic Keyboard don't need as many outputs and inputs compared to a mechanical keyboard, so there's less polling, which means less energy used. But anyway, to be only charging a device about 10 times in a year to get daily use out of it, that's really impressive. And then most importantly, there's the awesome typing experience. If you've ever used this keyboard or just typed on a MacBook with scissor switches, you'll know that they're a joy to type on. The key travel, the feel, the precision of the keys is probably the one reason I continue to use this keyboard. They're well spaced, stable, and they provide a really enjoyable tactile feedback that's not too quiet and not too loud either. The scissor switches in the keyboard has a decent amount of travel for such a slim keyboard, more than the notorious butterfly keyboards, because there's more space when the scissor mechanism compresses down. But if you're used to, let's say, a mechanical keyboard with really clicky blue Keychron switches, then you'll probably find this keyboard very mushy to type on. Overall, it's super accurate and a low effort, comfortable keyboard with the actuation force on this keyboard at only 36.3 grams of force, or GF. That's the only GF I have. Oh, and it also makes for an awesome keyboard for an iPad as long as it runs at least iPad OS 10. Okay, so 1 full year later with this keyboard, and has it been worth it? It's a challenging question because on one hand, I do love this keyboard for simple reasons, but then on the other hand, there's obviously many obvious faults. The positives, its design, typing experience, and even battery life aren't even unique to this keyboard. There are keyboards that have all three, but as usual, it's the seamless integration into the Apple ecosystem that makes this keyboard a winner. I've been using it for a year now, and I still love it, but I do wish it had more ergonomic adjustments, backlighting, and I really wish it was more fairly priced. So overall, if you're looking for a Mac specific keyboard for Apple devices, then the Apple Magic Keyboard, especially with Touch ID, is still the best bet. But if you don't care for Touch ID and the Magic Keyboard aesthetic, there are plenty of more affordable and just as great keyboards out there, like Keychron's K3 that I still like to switch up and use, or even Logitech's MX keys that I've heard a lot of great things about and I need to try out soon. In fact, if you have the Magic Keyboard, drop a comment down below and let me know your experience with it. I'd actually love to know if you enjoy yours or if you dislike it. And if you made it to the end of this video, drop the code word comment magic and I'll give it a like. I'll also leave a review of the AirPods Max right here. If you're interested in that video, go check it out. And as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.